Hey guys, Mike from Boyer Bows here. Okay, I said that there was going to be a little bit of an Osage build along going on also, and I've started the Osage bow. What we have here is we have two staves. The one on the left is actually red cedar. Now, I only have it there because I want to show you the one on the right is obviously my Osage, and you can see I've put some lines on it already. Now the Osage bow came like this. It came in stave form, so it was this big meaty thing. This is how staves come, or when I say a bow stave, and I mean not a board. You can see that if you just went around the perimeter, this would be a log, and this is a piece of log cut lengthwise, not cut in half or that kind of thing. So basically, this is what the Osage stave looked like when it arrived. And this is what it looks like now. And all I've done so far is just sort of cut a rectangular shape. But you'll notice that in the middle of the bow, it went really snaky on me, which is awesome. I mean, there's no other word for it, but awesome! And the way I did it, now you see, what I tried to do is I tried to follow a line down the middle of the bow. Now, people always wonder if you're reducing. This was a very good question that was asked, and I guess I haven't been clear. When you reduce to a single growth ring on the back of the bow, how do you follow the grain pattern? Because a single growth ring, there's no grain pattern. And so, well, I'm not actually following the grain pattern when it comes to when a single growth ring has no actual wood grain to it, right? Because it's not, there are no layers on top of layers. There are no rings. What it is the wood fibers are running up and down the length of the bow. So what you do, if you look real close, and I don't know if this is going to be able to get it in the picture, but you can see the fibers running lengthwise. See, here are the growth rings. Yeah? I'm not following those. I'm following the wood fibers as they travel down the bow. And what will happen is these wood fibers will travel straight down the bow, and then if it's snaky, they'll start snaking around. As you can see from my line, got a little close here, but this is the handle, so that doesn't count. But there's a knot there, and it gets all crazy. But the fibers kind of went like this. They started snaking, and what you try to do when that happens is you follow it, and then your lines are gonna all follow, so you can get, like, for example, here's a good example right here. The distance from this line to this edge is almost the same as the line from here to this edge. Now, in a snaky situation, you're gonna see the same thing. Even though the lines curve, and they don't look that great here, but you're gonna see that even though the lines, they curve kind of uniformly. You can see that curves here, curves on the other side, and it all works out real well. And that's something Osage is really kind of famous for. That's one of the reasons I love working with it. Now I've carved the bow a little bit beyond those dimensions because I wanted to accommodate for the handle area as well as a few of the knots. But what I've got so far on this bow, so we have a starting point. I have not reduced to a single growth ring on the back yet. I've carved out the handle. The handle is currently 1 5/8 inch deep. The bow limbs are about 1.5 inch wide. In some places they're a little wider, but at can't talk. The least amount of width in the limb right now is 1.5 inches, and the handle currently is 1.25 inches. This area here is 1.25 inches. So that's just my sort of starting point. These dimensions are not going to get, I'm going to try not to reduce the sides any more than 1.5 inches, and eventually it's going to go from the 1.25 inches at the handle out to 1.5 inches, back to actually around 3/4 of an inch down to 1/2 inch at the top. And we'll explain all that as we go. But this is where I am in the Osage build. I've just sort of cut out my working bow stave. It is not floor tillered. What does floor tillered mean? It means when I stick the bow on the ground and put some weight on it, it does not bend. Floor tillered would bend. Floor tillered means it doesn't mean it's even, it doesn't mean there's any kind of tiller in the bow whatsoever. All it means is that when I press against the ground, the limbs bend. Currently, it does not. So it is not floor tillered. Okay, so from here, my next step is reducing to a single growth ring, and we're going to take you through that process again. But for now, here I am, and we'll see you soon, guys. Mike from Bow Your Bows.